Hi, I'm John Hart and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. I'm going to share with you today a great conversation I had with a client of mine regarding the ECA Stack. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this, the ECA Stack was wildly popular, back in the late 80s, all through the 90s, and then into the early 2000s. What is ECA? ECA stands for ephedrine hydrochloride, and that was in a 25 milligram dose. The C stands for caffeine, and that was in a 200 milligram dose. And then the A stands for aspirin. It was actually a baby aspirin, 81 milligram dose. So the combination of the three was taken 3 times per day. And the effect, the synergistic effect of those 3 compounds together was amazing. Back in the day, to shred body fat, it enhanced entirely a good diet and training program. It really did. It was a standard among bodybuilders, both enhanced and natural. It was also a standard among athletes who needed to drop body fat. It was a standard among actors, actresses, just about anybody that needed to or wanted to lose body fat. Just your average Joe. You could walk into any supermarket around the country in the United States and you could find in the weight loss section or in the supplements section, you could find any one of those popularly named weight loss products, and they all contained a combination of ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin. And it was, as I said, so popular right up until, and there were no problems either, no known problems, other than, there's some people didn't belong taking it. Those who had already certain heart issues, they didn't belong taking it because it could cause, heart palpitations. Those who had high blood pressure, obviously, did not do well with it. They should not use it. But other than that, we're talking about the vast majority used it, benefited from the combination, did well with it for a solid dozen years, if not 15 years. Until the early 2000s, right around 2003, some legislator got a hair up his butt or her butt about this supplement combination, and why did they? And they banned it. I mean, they found a way just to outlaw it in our country, the United States. And this kind of spread a little bit worldwide, but in our country, it was banned, outlawed. And the reason why that legislator took it as their mission to do so was because there were a couple of kids, basically college or high school age kids that were athletes. And in their sport, I know that one of them was a football player, for a fact. And both of them were overweight, trying to cut weight for their sport. And it was the high heat of summer in a highly humid state. One of them, I believe, was Louisiana, and the other was Mississippi. And in both instances, they were cutting weight. They were sweating it out. In one of their instances, they were taking salt tablets. That's sodium, NaCl, sodium chloride tablets, to replace sodium from sweating so much during Hell Week, during those 2-day workouts that they were doing. The problem with that is they weren't supplementing with other electrolytes, so they created an imbalance, which that alone could have stopped the heart. But now combine that with the fact that they were extremely overweight, trying to cut weight, exercising extensively, dehydrated, electrolyte imbalance, and then after their heart stopped and they ended up in a coroner's office, the coroner finds ephedrine in their system. And there's the rub. The moment they found that, we had a couple of, our kids. One was, again, I think one was college and one was high school age. Both of them dropped dead. And as sad as it was, they found this chemical in their systems. And the problem became that the legislators saw it as this was the cause. Not the rest of it, but this was the cause. And went about getting it outlawed in our country. So, no longer could you find the ECA Stack as such. And sports supplement companies, a bunch of them took a dump right away because they based their entire business on some of these supplements, and now they were gone too. You could have picked that stuff up, at the supermarket, at the 7-Eleven, at the gym. You could have picked it up just about anywhere. that combination in an actual sports supplement, or you just bought them separately. You bought Ephedrine HCl on its own, you bought your own, no-dose caffeine pills, and then you bought, baby aspirin. And the combination, again, was highly effective synergistically. Now, once it was banned, the supplement companies tried to supplement with a different combination using different ingredients, synephrine in particular, and it did not work as well. And so therefore, over the years, the sales of those supplements were much lower and didn't work as well, so nobody really made a big deal out of it. But eventually, as we got into the 2000s, the ephedrine itself, somewhere along the way, became legal once again, and it still did not get sports supplement companies to hop on board and start producing it again as a sports supplement. And the reasons why were there were liability issues. They didn't want to be held liable. Number two, it was a question of insurance. There were questions of, going about jumping through hoops for the government to get this done right. And so as a result, there's no really big supplement companies producing a ECA Stack supplement out there. So I'm sure you could find it out there if you search, but short of that, friends of mine who have gone out and found this combination or found ephedrine, they went to their local store. Without naming the name of the store, I don't want to be irresponsible here, but they went out and they went to their local superstore, and somewhere in the pharmacy they found some asthma medications that do contain it in that dosage, the 25 milligram dosage. So they would take 2 12.5 milligram pills along with 200 milligrams of caffeine and 81 milligram baby aspirin, and they're using that 3 times a day and getting the positive benefits from it. Now, these friends of mine, are they, do they have blood pressure issues? No. Do they have heart palpitations? No. Are they in that risk category? No. They're younger, they're in great shape, they're able to tolerate it well. So am I recommending such things? But John, I understand, you're a natural bodybuilder. Don't you hate these things? No, I don't hate these things. That's not the case at all. I used them back in the day along with everyone else. It was it made bodybuilding a little bit easier. But the natural bodybuilding the natural bodybuilding companies that are out there, organizations, they decided to ban them entirely. So even after it became legal once again, it was not legal within my own sport. So I never went back to it. And probably to the benefit of my own health long term. So I'm fine with that. But do I disagree with anybody using it? No, I happen to be one of those guys that believes that, you're a human being, you're an adult, you make your own decisions. The kids, it's a different story. I don't agree with kids using these things. But as an adult, you make informed choices and you live with the consequences as well. So it doesn't matter what we're talking about here with regards to any drug. I'm one of those people. So that's pretty much it. Those were my answers to the client. As we go forth into what are the new strategies for burning off body fat, we end up finding out that they're not new at all, but that they're basically the bottom line, same, simple, wow. Diet and exercise, number one. It's still number one. All the ECA Stack ever did was enhance the diet and the exercise. It made it a little bit easier. So it's It's harder to train and diet without it. That's all. But most of us have gotten used to that and have found a way and worked without those things. So that's it. Do I think, that there's some other alternative out there right now? No. If you're talking about anything legal over the counter, no. You should just stick to a really great diet plan. Be dedicated to what you're doing and enjoy your training and train really, really hard, along with doing the proper amount of cardio when it comes time to burn that body fat. And that combination works really, really well. So that's it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart. I look forward to seeing you once again. Hey, before you leave, if you don't mind, on the bottom right, you have a red subscribe button, or off to my left, which would be your right, there's a circle. That's a subscribe button as well. You can hit that to subscribe to my channel to get notifications when I have new videos pop up. And off to your left, you have that thumbs up. Please give that thing a tap. It'll turn blue on you, And that also helps the channel out a lot. Thank you once again. I look forward to seeing you next time.